It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
It is Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Alstyne. And Car Con Carne tonight, sponsored by our friends at Siren Records McHenry. My home away from home. I love Siren Records. This is the place I can call up if I know there's a cool record coming up. I know I can call them up and say, are you going to get this? If you can't, can you order it for me? That's what I did with the new Gojira record coming out next month. And I reached out to Siren. I said, hey, can you get me the new Gojira? Well, which one? There's the colored vinyl. There's the black vinyl. Or there's a picture disc. I'm like, surprise me. But I love going there. It's a little bit of a haul from where I am, but it's worth it because I can spend like 3 hours there. We've all been to record stores in and around the city and suburbs that have all the charm of a Walmart. This is like going to your friend's house. Siren Records McHenry, 3902 Main Street in McHenry. I love it. In fact, if you go this weekend, you'll probably see me there. My guest tonight, I love this band. This is an instrumental band. They are Coyote Man. Nice to see the three of you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Your music is heavy, it's progressive, it's dense, and I think it rewards multiple listens. The deeper you go into Coyote Man, the more rewarding the experience is. And this is very dramatic, cinematic stuff. I love what you're doing. Let's start at the beginning of Coyote Man. First of all, an instrumental band. This isn't something we see that often, is a band committing to just being instrumental. I mean, in the 90s, there were a couple of post-rock bands that went the instrumental route, but I mean, this is a distinct choice you made. Tell me about how you started.
Well, it wasn't a choice really. Is we just didn't have a singer that could, or just stick around basically, So it wasn't really our choice.
Yeah, we went to high school together. We've been jamming since high school, so we had some early singers on, and they always just kind of went their separate ways from us, but we always just kept on jamming. And eventually, we're just like, hey, we don't really need a singer. I mean, unless you're like Robert Plant and you want to join, that's cool. But other than that, we just always jammed out. That was just like a routine for us, and we've been doing it for a long time now. And now we're finally like putting our heads straight and doing what we should have done probably about 10 years ago, but we're finally all together. We were kind of on and off over the years, but the past like 6 years, we've been committed fully to Coyote Man.
I love it. So do you miss wrestling with the ego of a lead singer? Or is it just one of the things you had to let go?
I don't think we ever had to wrestle with that.
Yeah.
They were pretty short. It was pretty short stint.
Short-lived, yeah. They were cool guys anyway. We're still friends with them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it just didn't work out. Yeah.
Got that. All right.
Let's the drummer though.
Yeah.
Drummers are a huge pain in the ass. It's a known fact. So last year you put out Precognition. I mentioned words like progressive and dense, perilous on Precognition. Definitely feels dramatic. This is what I like about your overall sound. I mean, you kind of construct these landscapes with the songs you write and perform. Talk to me a little bit about Precognition.
Well, yeah. I mean, it took us a while to write all the songs. It was 3 years after our first release. But with that album, we kind of spent more time really just kind of figuring out exactly what we wanted to do, and not just kind of, I don't know, just jam anything. And we were just kind of more concentrated on the parts and the changes, and just kind of less of the flashiness that our first album had. But it was fun. It was fun. We ended up recording it together, just me and Ian. At the time, we did have a bassist, but it just wasn't working out, and we couldn't get him to record on that album. But we ended up pulling it off. It was quite an experience. It was fun.
Yeah, that was the first time we really we recorded at Decade Studios with a great producer, Adam Stilson, and it was great to work with him. And just the overall sound, the aura, the atmosphere it has that powerful element. It's
it was different for us. Change. It was just more professionally done. He kind of catered more to our sound, and but overall, we that's the direction we're aiming for. Just kind of evolving from that point, But that's pretty much what we've been doing lately.
Listening to you, everything sounds so precise and well chosen. Are you guys perfectionists in the studio? Do you belabor the process?
Well, yeah, it's not perfect, but we try to at least make it decent. Unfortunately, some of us just sometimes it just takes longer to kind of lay it down. I just kind of want to make sure I don't have any regrets, basically.
Practice makes perfect. I mean, we've been practicing a lot, like more than we ever have these past few years. So that's helped a lot. I think,
for sure.
Big time.
My favorite song on Precognition is Apocalyptic Love. It's also the longest song. It feels cinematic. It shifts, and then it eventually trails off almost like a cliffhanger. It's like, hey, tell me about Apocalyptic Love, because that's the one. If I were to try and explain your band to someone, that's probably the song I would play for them.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, basically, our old bassist, he wrote that main riff at the very beginning, and then we kind of we always jammed that for a while, and then
we just basically just kind of picked it up from there, and just turned into just this epic song where I found myself adding solos in the studio that I wasn't really playing live. It was just kind of, I don't know, like our first experiment at really like finishing the song in the studio.
Yeah.
It was always kind of like, all right, we already know what we're going to do when we record. We have demos and whatnot. But that one, we didn't have 100%, like, we didn't have certainty that it was going to be exactly how we've been playing it. So with that song, it is one of my favorites as well. But mainly it's because, the parts and, the up and downness of like the main parts of the chorus and the verse. But that's pretty much, the direction also that we're trying to go with, just very more landscapey stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right, let's talk about where you're going. You have a song on the way, song and video on the way?
Yes, we do.
How close are we to that?
We are very close. Next month it will be out for sure. We're gonna put out a song with a video, cool. And it's
just finishing up the mixing, mastering. So real soon. It's different for sure than what we've already been doing. I guess more along the lines of Apocalyptic Love, maybe.
So is this was a pandemic creation?
Yeah.
Yes.
And yes. We've had this for a while, but hey, we finally had the time to really like finish it, record it, and and see what we can do.
Yeah, the thing with this new song is, with Precognition, when we put out the album, that's when COVID hit. Yeah. So we had we had shows all lined up, and then we had to cancel. So we couldn't really play any songs live from that album. So now that we're still in COVID, we're like, let's just put out a song at least. See where that goes, instead of putting out a whole album when we really don't know when we're going to be playing shows again. Yeah. So
although there's an argument to be made that you could almost reintroduce Precognition.
Yeah, that's actually true.
That's very true. That's another reason with this the new song. Like once it's released, I think a lot of people who never heard of us, they're going to see that we have 2 other albums, and they're going to go right to those as well, which will help.
And during this time we've had we had time to rekindle our old relationship here with our original bassist Renee. So since we haven't been playing shows, we've been jamming. We've been kind of working on the new songs. He wrote part of Time Crystals. So we've been busy making sure that at least we can be show ready when it's time.
Yeah. Damn right.
It's worth mentioning we're recording this on Thursday. God, the days and dates, I swear to you, ever since last March, it's so hard to pin down where on a timeline we are. We're recording this on Thursday the 4th. Tomorrow is Bandcamp Day for the month of March, which I always like when it works out when I have a band on the night before Bandcamp Day, because it gives me an excuse to say, if you want to experiment or experience this artist's music and support this artist, tomorrow is a great day to do it, because all artists get 100% of the revenue from sales on Bandcamp. So you guys are Precognition is on Bandcamp. People can listen and they can support you by buying it on Bandcamp. They could do it anytime, but tomorrow you get 100% of the revenue. And that's true for Coyote Man and every other independent band you love that's on Bandcamp. It's a great way to, if you have a little extra money this month, tomorrow's a great day to spend it and get some kick-ass stuff for it. I love Bandcamp Day. All right, so Ian, we need to talk. You're a horror fan.
Yes.
I'm wearing my nerdy Tall Man Phantasm t-shirt.
Yes.
So I know you've been busy. You've got time crystals coming out. You've worked on that during the pandemic. And apologies to the other members of Coyote Man, because we're going to go down a rabbit hole. Just setting the table.
Yeah.
Have you had time to watch a bunch of horror movies during this?
Of course. I pretty much almost every day I watch a horror movie, whether if it's on Shudder or if it's me going to Disc Replay and just buying a new Blu-ray or DVD in the horror section. You'll find me there.
All right, let's talk about Shudder, because I have Shudder. It's almost too overwhelming. I feel like there's so much not great stuff on there. It's sometimes hard for me to land on something I know I'm going to love.
Yes. Well, the good thing about Shudder, I feel like every week they add at least a couple movies. Like it's better than Netflix, obviously. It's just, but it's cool that, they throw like the trashy 60s, 70s, really cheesy, like vampire flicks and half naked woman, running around. Not great horror movies, but they have a lot of those. But then they have a lot of classics too, and a lot of good 80s stuff that I never heard of until I saw on Shudder. And but they've had a lot of good new stuff too as well. And there's been a lot of good ones. Also, Amazon is really good for horror as well. They have some. I
agree with you. I completely. Yes. So what's a hidden favorite that I may have completely overlooked? What's something I should be watching?
I would say there's a good 80s flick called Street Trash. It's a really dirty East Coast, beautiful gore film. It's just basically about this guy who sells this really bad liquor that he found in the basement of his liquor store that he puts out to sell for $1. So all these bums on the street are coming in and like stealing this really bad bottle of booze. When they drink it, they pretty much melt and they like go in this like seizure, and it's very gory and graphic, but like beautiful colors. Like, 80s was all neon. So it's like green, blue, pink. And it's just like basically the whole movie is just like bums kind of fighting one another for liquor. I mean, it's bum fights. It's just a really like dirty movie, but it's beautiful at the same time. It's very entertaining. That's definitely one. Street Trash. I highly recommend.
Have any newer movies captured your attention?
Yes. Uncle Peckerhead.
I have not seen Uncle Peckerhead.
Yes, just came out. It's great. It's about this local band that goes on tour, and they this guy who has a van that they meet. He's like, "Oh, I'll help you guys on the road, and I'll be your roadie." And basically, I don't want to give too much away, but stuff happens later on. He turns into this like creature, and then it goes from there. But it's great, and the soundtrack's good too. But yeah, it's good.
Have you seen Psycho Gorman yet?
Psycho Gore. Is that the German movie?
No, just came out a month or two ago. It's on Prime. You have to rent it, but it's like a trauma movie.
Trauma. Yeah.
It's fantastic. I'm talking to the director on Car Con Carne on Sunday morning. Highly recommended. Super entertaining movie. It's the movie you didn't realize you wanted to see. That's one of the newer ones I recommend.
Right.
All right, I just popped open my Shudder to see what I've been watching. I really do feel like I'm taking stabs in the dark when I jump on Shudder.
Yes.
Newly added Amityville 2. Don't need that.
Don't need that. I wasn't a fan of even the original, Jose.
Yeah, and they remade it.
Yeah, they remade it with Ryan Reynolds.
And you remember the hook of Amityville based on a true story?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure. Sure it was. Do you the other guys in the band, do you watch horror movies at all? Do you?
Just any
Not really.
Halloween movie I'll watch.
I tell them all the
Anytime.
time, but yeah, they'll, but when it comes to horror movies and like soundtracks, like the way I look at this band is like, you think of some of your favorite movies and you always remember the actual soundtracks of like the favorite parts of the movie. So that kind of like goes along with the whole being in an instrumental band. There's something special about that.
I just picked this up recently. This
Nice.
is a treasure.
Wow.
Love this, the Omen soundtrack on vinyl. But
I got The Fog on vinyl. John Carpenter's The Fog.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorites too. Yeah.
I've said this before on the podcast, but when I'm at home, when I'm working my day job, when I'm writing, sometimes I don't want vocals in the background as I'm working. And I found that a lot of these old horror soundtracks are fantastic to have on as I'm working and trying to get stuff done. They're like the perfect accompaniment to getting my work handled.
Check out John Carpenter just came out with a new album. Him and his son.
I have the first Lost themes. Love it.
Yes.
I mean, I love all that Carpenter stuff. I've been dangerously close to pulling the trigger on the Escape from New York, like the double vinyl reissue, but it's like $40 or $50, and I want it, and I know I'll play it, but it's like you have that dollar threshold in your mind when you go record shopping, and that's just over it. Just over it. Yeah. But I know, exactly. I mean, I know the soundtrack. I know I love it. I know it is fantastic. I know it without that, there'd be no Daft Punk. I mean, it's or LCD Sound System for that matter.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. All right. So moving forward, back to Coyote Man, the single and video. What did you do for the video?
Oh, yeah. What did we do for the video?
Well, so Ian's wearing our hoodie. That's my cousin and me. We got our own production.
Oh, badass.
Yeah. So it's mainly his company, but he moved about 5 rooms down from our room in the studio. So he has this awesome studio set up. Ian moved his drums over there. Me and Augie just took our bass and guitar, and
it's been jamming. It's good.
Yeah, we've been making some pretty cool stuff for this song, So
hopefully we'll be done with the video maybe within the next 2 weeks, just in time for the release.
We got some good drone shots as well for the video.
Yeah, we had some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty wild.
See, I kept thinking, and it didn't really happen, but I kept thinking last year or over the past 12 months that we would see a music video renaissance, like a whole new era, because bands couldn't tour. I kind of thought we'd see a lot more video making, but maybe that's still coming. Maybe I was thinking about this the wrong way. Bands like you were working on getting the music done over the past year, and maybe we'll start to see all those shut-ins who created music turning that stuff into video moving forward.
Yeah,
that's our plan too.
That's our goal.
Anytime we put something out, or just in general, just put out more videos, us jamming, whatnot, going day by day.
I feel like it's easier to share. Instead of here's a song, like here's a video with our song.
Yeah, oh right, so. Dude, it's the same thing with a podcast. We're doing a video right now. It's so much easier to get people to watch a video conversation than an audio podcast episode.
Exactly. Yep. Right.
Same thing on my end. It's crazy. All right. I love your band. I think, going back to what we were just saying about soundtracks, like I could listen to Coyote Man all day while I'm working. It's just awesome stuff. You guys do great work. Again, Bandcamp tomorrow. Check out Precognition if you have the inclination. It's awesome. Support them. Support independent music. Support Chicago music. Thank you, Coyote Man, which is actually 3 men.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.